my YouTube friends! Ever wonder why live streams aren't being suggested by YouTube? Not your live streams or my live streams, but any live streams. Where is the Mr. Beast of live streaming? I put a lot of thought into this, and I don't think the real answer is all that complicated. So today, I want to talk about why live streaming is not being suggested and how you can become the Mr. Beast of live streaming. So you know what? Let's get to it! Historically, there are some live streams that have broken out to huge numbers on YouTube, but these are events like the SpaceX launch or Coachella streams. If you want to be the Mr. Beast of live streaming, one-off events aren't going to make that a reality. You need a consistent, regular stream that gets suggested. Now at the moment, YouTube suggests established game streamers, most of whom you already know, and live TV news networks, and that's pretty much it. New game streamers aren't really being suggested, mostly because they aren't doing anything new. It's all the same. Gaming as a whole is in decline. Let's be honest, gaming sucks right now. Channels complaining about how bad games are get a lot more traction from YouTube than actual gamers playing games. And those videos are pre-recorded, so that isn't going to help us as streamers. When Survivor first appeared on TV, it was a cultural phenomenon. The viewing numbers were absolutely huge. And for the second and third season, those numbers stayed pretty high. But 4 or 5 years on, the viewers just weren't watching anymore. It wasn't that the show was bad, but the people were always new and the settings were always different, but the formula was always the same. So each following season was just a copy of the first season, and the more copies of anything you make, the more degraded and old they start to look. So the new gaming live streams we're seeing today are nothing new. They're just faded copies of what we've already seen. Unless you're lucky enough to be on the ground floor of some Fortnite-like hit, or you actually find a way to create truly original game streams, you're just swimming upstream, so to speak, completely against thousands of others doing the exact same thing for a dwindling audience. Not great odds. I do, however, feel that live streaming as a format has yet to reach its full potential. In fact, I don't think it's really scratched the surface of what is possible, mostly because people are just doing the same thing as everyone else. Live streaming is just waiting for that cultural phenomenon, and I don't think it even has to be anything new. Just new to live streaming. As a format on YouTube, Twitch, or Rumble, live streaming hasn't even hit its teenage years yet. Mostly because people seem stuck in a creativity bubble trying to replicate what worked 5 years ago. So let's break out of that bubble and try to create the next big thing in live streaming. I have 5 ideas that I came up with from just my small world of interests. Keep in mind, I'm not 25, so what I might watch could be different from your interests. That does not mean that you couldn't apply the same creativity to the things you and your peers are interested in. That's how cultural phenomenons are born. Idea 1. My first idea was filming your weekly poker cash game with your friends. Sure, we are a few years away from the big poker boom, but a lot of people still get together for a weekly poker game with friends. The right players and some knowledgeable commentary could turn a silly low-stakes weekly game against friends into a viral internet event that happens every week. You just need the right friends and a few cameras and microphones. Idea 2. The Late Show has been a staple of TV since before most of us were born. Now it's declining these days on TV like pretty much everything else, but I think the reason is mostly the platform and the writing. These shows are just stale and old because these people wouldn't know funny or entertaining if it hit them in the face. The old network model has just destroyed any chance that these shows have of a comeback on the networks. But the right host on YouTube, Twitch, or Rumble with a good team of actually entertaining friends to help write could be edgy and fun and garner a huge audience. Instead of stale Hollywood actors talking about movies with bad writing, you could bring on people your audience actually cares about for fun interviews. Guests could be YouTubers, Twitch streamers, artists, and musicians that you actually care about. The best part is the formula that works is already there. It just needs to be modernized and have the entertainment added back in. I work really hard to create content I think you're going to enjoy, and sometimes I hit and sometimes I miss. But honestly, it's really hard to know for sure. And that's where you can really help me out. If you're enjoying this video, take a second and give it a thumbs up. And if it's not your thing, give it a thumbs down. If everyone watching right now does that, it literally tells me what direction to take my content in the future. And I really do appreciate it. Thanks. Idea number 3. Now, game shows have been around since the 50s. It's a well-proven genre that people love to watch. Something like this has never been tried on an internet platform, and I think it's time for it to actually happen. A few creatives could easily come up with a game show that would work for YouTube, Twitch, or Rumble that would cost nearly nothing to produce. There doesn't even need to be a large cash prize for winners. You could get sponsored gift cards or products to start out. A great game played by entertaining players could create a buzz on YouTube every single week and generate a huge audience. Idea number 4. Live sports and sports gambling are huge business right now. This is one area where there's a massive untapped audience every single day. And there are so many ideas in this area, but here are a few. The NFL Red Zone is a thing that people actually pay for every year to keep track of every game each week in the NFL season. And the main reason this works is because of fantasy football. This would be a stream that runs every Sunday during the season and has graphics up with each of the live game scores and the clock time. It can also have player stats, big play updates, and betting odds. Then you add commentary that entertains and keeps people up to date on everything that's going on in every game. And since it's a live stream, your audience can actually ask you questions if they want to know specific information. Or there are a lot of people who love a team for a city that they don't actually live in. Let's say you're a big Phillies fan, but you live in Arizona. You could easily live stream during each game with overlays that outline what's going on in that specific game. Your overlay could have scoreboards, pitch counts, pitch placement, miles per hour, all kinds of stats, and even betting odds that aren't available even on a national broadcast. You add some amazing commentary with those graphic overlays and you're going to have people turning down the game sound to listen to your live stream. Or if they live somewhere where they can't see or listen to the game, you give them an alternative so they never have to miss a game for their favorite team. And those are just 2 examples. I think the market for team-specific live content is nearly untapped and absolutely huge. Idea number 5. This one is near and dear to my heart because I miss Street Outlaws. It's been 4 months now since we've seen a new show. I do, however, watch live streams of no prep races and the occasional street race, and they never fail to disappoint. Now, I've been watching long enough to know a lot of the cars and who drives them, but most people have no idea. So for the average viewer of one of these streams, it's just 2 cars going down the road fast. Boring. Just a little bit of work would make these streams huge. Graphic overlays for racing brackets, driver overlays so you know who's racing in what lane, and of course, some driver interviews. More focus on the racers, the event, and the stakes, and less focus on the weed, and these streams could be huge. There is so much that could easily be done to make these viewable. I certainly want this to be a thing. In fact, if I didn't have this channel with all the work it entails, I might just do this one myself. I have a bonus for you. Since COVID, live music venues have just about disappeared, especially small live music venues, and live events that do exist are so freaking expensive. Live streaming is the perfect opportunity for musicians to grow their fan base, make money, and share their music. I mean, let's face it, not every band is signed to a label. In fact, more are not than the ones that are. But you could stream your live shows and grow a nationwide audience. There are so many ways to monetize something like this and take some power away from the venues, the ticketing services, and the actual audio streaming services. People still crave live music even if they don't have a venue near them or they can't afford to go see it. You could be the next grassroots sensation that goes viral by live streaming your music events. Now, this list is a few examples that I thought of from the things that I'm passionate about. I have no doubt that your passions are different than mine, but there is bound to be something that you can turn into original live streaming content. And that's what it's going to take to really bust out. Entertaining and original. This is a very small list, and there are hundreds of other existing formats that could be turned into the next live streaming phenomenon. And I can tell you it won't be game streaming. That ship is sailing away. But that's my opinion. Let me know what you think right down below in the comments. And if you want to see how you can easily create an animated streaming overlay using AI for free, check this video out. And if you're always looking for tools, tips, and tricks to help make you a better live streamer or YouTuber, subscribe to the channel. My name is Michael Feyrer Jr. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.